Does everyone just keep buying purple bags?
Well, I now have 3. I went from having 0 purple bags to 3 purple bags in 2 months.
It's time.
I now have a purple tote. I have a purple messenger, and then I have the purple one that I use for yours, which could also be used as a clutch. So I feel like I've covered all the bases. Only thing I don't, I lied. I have a purple book bag as well. So I have 4 purple bags. I'm good on purple.
I love that for you.
I love that for me too, actually. It's like I didn't know I wanted it, but now that I got it, I'm like, oh yeah, thank you.
I love this theme that we have going on. Like, I'm wearing a robe. Troy has a blanket. You have a blanket. Snuggie thingy. I mean, this is it. This is our brand.
I just want to point out that at this point, I just want to thank God that we had this little itty bitty moment of cold and the grid didn't shut down for a week.
Oh, that's right.
Again.
The anxiety that I experienced.
How'd y'all pull that off?
God. Okay, because I want you to know I was prepared. I had pre-made food so that I could warm it up on my stove since my oven would not be operational. I bought gas for my generator. I bought a little dolly to pull my generator into the backyard so that I could make sure it doesn't get stolen. I had extension cords ready to go. I was like, what won't happen is me in here crying that I can't feel my toes. That's what's not going to happen this year.
Well,
you know what?
I was not prepared at all. Didn't do any of that.
I feel like Brittany getting prepared is why it did not shut down. I feel like if you hadn't been prepared, it wouldn't shut down.
Considering that last time, I didn't even bat an eye when they were talking about, oh, it's I was like, whatever. We get like a little bit of flurry every year. It'll be fine. Never again.
It was not fine.
Never again.
It was not fine.
It was so bad. My heat has been on like 75 because I was worried. I'm like, well, if I lose power, it could start at 75. So like I get a little bit of heat before it gets cold, because last time I was doing my normal where I don't really turn on the heat. I just wear baggy clothes. And I went to sleep and it was like 68 degrees because that's where I set my heat to. And then I woke up and there was no power, which means it started sometime at night at 68. So by the time my air conditioning, or by the time the heat finally cut back on in my house, it was in the low 40s in my freaking house. Because as much as I love my floors, they are the worst.
It was probably like ice.
Yeah, they were basically like ice on my floor. And I was just like, I can't feel my toes.
I can't feel my toes.
I don't have I now have fleece socks and stuff for those events. Like there's now like a freeze preparation bin that sits underneath my bed. Yeah. I was like, the fact that I can't put away my like emergency kit because now I have hurricanes and freezes to worry about. Like there's no break.
Yeah.
Ghetto. The struggle has been very real. That's why I said if y'all want to talk about the 35 blues, I can talk about it because it is debilitating.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Black Prose Podcast, where Black lives, Black authors, and Black books have always mattered. We are your hosts. I'm Oshile of Oshi Reads. We have Troy of Ink Floor Studio and Brittany of Melanin Eclectic. We hope you enjoy the show today.
Okay, on today's topic of things y'all might not be knowing about, we have happily titled it, Diverse Reading Brings Out All the Bigots. So if y'all have not been on TikTok, because honestly, this is where all the book drama is now, I don't hear much about book Twitter as much anymore. Because I think they all migrated to TikTok, actually. I really do believe that they migrated to TikTok. So I don't remember the name of the girl, but she made a video that basically said reading diversely is not hard, which it's not. And it ignited this hit dogs will holler in like a 10-minute format. So one of the girls, she gets on Beyonce's internet with her whole chest, screaming into the camera, "You can't force me to read politically. I don't read diversely because 75% of the publishing world is white. All the books that are published are white. If I want to enjoy myself, then I'm going to just pick up a book that interests me. I'm not going to worry about the author." Like, I mean, she was like screaming into the void. And all I kept thinking was, it's okay to be racist and quiet.
Yes.
Like, nobody was checking for you. Like the fact that you felt so attacked by a general video, because there were no tags in that original video. She did not specify a name of anybody. She just said reading diversely is not hard. And I just thought about it because I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Black History Month is coming. So it's going to be all these fake ally people coming out with books you should read. It's going to be the same 5 books across all of the things. So I get why she brought it up, but yeah, girl. I just don't understand.
To yourself. If you do not want to read diversely, nobody is forcing you. Nobody is like chaining you to, you know, certain bookshelves and sections in the bookstore. Like nobody actually cares what you do.
Realize that the racists always like create facts. Like whenever they're like trying to justify like why they're racist, it's always like insert incorrect fact here. And you're like, where did you get your numbers?
Yeah, when you said she said like, you know, X amount of the publishing world is white or, you know, the majority, I was so confused because the world is very large and books exist in all cultures, languages. I was just like,
in fact, she herself is a part of the minority when you think about it from the world, but she's also American. And we all know that sometimes Americans have a tendency to center themselves as if they're the only people that exist. And so not shocked that she did that.
Traveled to a non-majority white country without telling me. You've never traveled. You know, it's like she's in her little bubble, which again, I think is fine. Honestly, I really could care less if she decides to ever read a book by a Black author or Asian.
It's too late now. If she picked up a book by a Black author now, it's too late.
I just don't care. I just don't want her talking about it online. Like, just keep it to yourself. Quietly continue to not read diversely, please. Thank you.
Keep in mind, she also stated that reading diversely is political, and she doesn't get political with her reading.
I caught that. And
like,
see, she is prime example, exhibit A of when people try to say, it's not about race. Nothing, you know, you don't have to bring race into everything. And you're just making it, you know, extra. You're putting sauce on it. It's not always about race. I'm like, clearly it is, because reading diversely is now political.
Oh yeah, it is, because to them they only see race as a political statement, not as like us as people. Like it's just like that. But yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, yeah, because you know how every year we have the same conversations in the book community about like, oh, like reading diversely, or it's not a political statement. Like we have been fighting as Black people to be seen as people and not political statements in every aspect of the word. So it's like, oh yeah, no, I keep forgetting that bigots look at supporting us as a political statement and not just regular everyday activity. Like it has to mean something to them for them to give a damn about us.
That's very true. It's just frustrating because, again, this person, and I will, full disclosure, I have not seen this TikTok and I'm not going to go looking for it. I hope it doesn't find me.
I don't even know. I know their name, but I refuse to say their name because I just don't believe that. Like it's kind of how like certain people they don't like posting the picture of like serial killers to give them the clout that they wanted. I'm like, sis wanted clout. She's getting the clout that she deserves. Don't get me wrong, because the Stitches have been top tier drags.
Yeah,
drags. She's now private because of course she's claiming that now she's getting death threats and being bullied and all that other stuff, because you know it's kind of at this point, we can like put a script next to the face of whenever it's like, do something racist. They either A, do the typical apology about everybody is human, or they do B, play victim and claim that everybody is trying to kill them now.
Someone should do a parody spoof video, but flip it and have it be a person of color be like, I don't read white books and I'm not going to.
You know what's funny? Like, I would love to do that, but the problem is the way that the TikTok algorithm works, it would send me right over to like the most racist white people. They wouldn't get the joke. They would think that it was real, and I would end up on like all the hate sites and all that stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
I still think it would be hilarious though, because you would do that whole thing and then you would play that person's video at the end.
Like, I feel like you would literally have to put at the top like of the video while you're recording it. It has to say parody.
You're
Parody. Like, it has to say it on the video. But honestly, I kind of want to do it now that you said it.
If somebody wants to, I'm just saying, I would love to see
I kind of want to do it now where it's just like, I do not read white books. You cannot make me read white books. I read for comfort. I can't connect to white people's shit. Like, I would.
It should cut to like a clip of you at Barnes and Noble being like, nope. Be like, absolutely not. Trash. Like,
oh my gosh.
And then finding like the tiny itty bitty black section being like, home, I've arrived.
Or like walking through Barnes and Noble, just like turning the books
around.
Maybe like, I know it's not much. I know the section's not much, but I love it.
Like, the section is home.
The amount of reverse racism videos you would be getting.
Oh my God,
that,
right?
Jesus Christ.
Despite the top of it saying parody, it would still get like, because one thing they don't like is to be met at their level.
But the best thing would be you post the first TikTok without saying parody, let it go viral, then repost it and saying parody on top.
That is so unhinged.
First of all, again, if I like, I've already had to deal with the racist bigots before. I don't want.
But here's the part too. After they come for you, you then post a video of you in your bonnet with like mascara streaks crying about your mental health and disable the comments. Disable.
Because I would need to follow through with the parody apology too. So I would need to like post the comments in the background and be like, I'm here today. I had to take a couple of days off social media because I've been getting a lot of hate and I just don't know what to do. But guys, I'm not racist. I'm really not. The bottom of my shoe is white. And I'm not racist. I was just saying how I felt.
And there's always a part where they're just like, most of you don't know about this, but behind the scenes, I've been fighting with such a big mental illness.
Oh, no. You're right. Wait, then it would be like, I don't know if you guys know this, but my mental health has really been struggling these past couple of months. And so all of this on top of that, I'm just really going to need to take time away from social media because I'm really hurt by the way that you guys responded to me.
I interact with white people every day.
I see that's the thing. I would not say white people. I would be like, I interact with my white fridge every day.
Fridge every day.
It would have to become like it would have to be so unhinged. Like,
it has to be completely unhinged.
I might do it with like a hard wig.
Oh no.
And draw some streaks. Like, I've been getting death threats. People have been threatening to lynch me all because I said that I don't like white things.
You should like use black construction paper and cut out squigglies and like tape them.
Okay.
I feel like it's so unhinged.
Like I said, let's take this from 0 to 1,000.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, the black construction paper would send me. That's like the girl on TikTok that makes fun of the Kardashians, and every time she does Chloe, she gives Chloe like a jacked up wig and like post-it note nails. Yeah, the same vibe. I wouldn't be able to get through that video without laughing. There would be so many bloopers. Like then at some point there would be real tears, but it would be tears from laughter. Like
I'm just saying, it would be genius.
Or like, I would do something ignorant, like paint my face white and be like, I promise you guys, I love white people. It's like, if I didn't have the job that I had, I would make parody videos like that. Like,
like this is not whiteface. This is cultural appreciation.
For clowns.
That would be the best. I would actually promote that video on all platforms.
Absolutely.
Again, if I had a different job, I would. When I tell you my TikTok would turn into a parody account so quick, And I would just be making fun of all the authors from last year, like the one girl that, thought she could trademark the sun. I have a perfect parody for hers. I'd be like, I copyright darkness. All you people that have dark in your books, I'm coming for you.
Stop it. Oh my goodness.
I wish. But if somebody takes our idea, please tag Black Prose Club or one of us so that we can see it and share it with each other, because that would be top tier.
Yes.
And I will laugh forever.
I feel like we would be really good at coaching people on how to go viral.
I've been saying for years I should be in PR.
You should. We have some great ideas. I mean, will they get you kind of canceled?
Black Prose Club social media. We could just make fun of this as a skit on our own social media account.
But you know what though? Did y'all ever see that one white girl who had like this video about how she got so many followers in such a short amount of time? And one of her tips was, I can't remember the exact wording, but basically she said, just be like really, really like loudly wrong. Like say something real crazy and real wrong. Because if you really want to get viral, say something insane.
I don't want to be viral, but like now that y'all have it, I feel like if we did it on Black Prose Club and be like, you want to see where we got this idea from? Like, check out the podcast. That would be hilarious. That would be a wonderful podcast ad, because it would be on like parody based on Black Prose Club.
On the other hand, I do not have time for hate. Like, I just remember even just having a taste of it from the Black Book Summit panel.
Oh my God.
I'm just like,
it's funny. I never really thought my videos would ever go viral, but that journal flip through is almost at 1 million views. And
slight flex. Continue.
I don't know, because the downside I think about TikTok is it's not really like YouTube or Instagram. 9 times out of 10 on those platforms, when you go viral, you're staying with the people that are watching similar videos. On TikTok, you just get a bunch of random people, and I would have never thought I got hate on a journal video. It's very interesting.
There are a lot of miserable people in this world because God forbid you do something like relax,
or someone's really unhinged and like screenshot, because you can't download my videos. They screenshot, I guess, the videos and was reading how they read on it. I have no idea, but it's not my personal journal, so I don't really care. And someone commented about something I wrote in there, and I was just like, those are probably song lyrics, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was shook.
That is unhinged.
It's unhinged.
What I need you to do, Troy, is I need you to make a journal full of just the most outrageous.
Oh my gosh. Yes. You need to start taking the comments from the miserable people and start incorporating them into your journaling videos.
Oh my gosh.
I love this petty. Oh my God. It could be the petty journal.
And y'all know who the most outrageous comments I get from. First of all,
we know.
Okay. But the gender they are, right?
We know.
It's unhinged.
It's unhinged. I don't understand it. But I mean, I guess people don't have lives, for real.
They do. They're just mad that Troy's life includes having moments to herself. I'm serious. I've seen some of the comments where I was like, girl, what? Be for real.
One of the comments was really funny, because she was like, I know I'm not supposed to be reading, but you're not a loser. I was like, what are you talking about? I first of all, may have a lot of self-deprecation, but I've never called myself a loser. So I went back into my journal. Y'all, it was lyrics to a Big Bang song. I was like, please.
Did you respond and say, these are just lyrics?
No, I just ignored it. I was just, there's so many comments on that video.
There's no way to she gets so many, it'll be the random ones when they're like, this is not journaling.
Yeah. Oh my God, I get so much of those. I was just like, then what is it?
I was like, how do you get to tell somebody else
that's
what they do in their journal?
I don't respond, because 9 times out of 10, somebody else responds and argues with them. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I haven't argued yet, but I do plan on trolling the hell out of Troy's page at one point.
Oh my
You
god.
can do that now. I don't care.
Yeah, it's just for some reason the moment I said that, your stuff stopped showing up in my FYP. Like now I have to specifically go to the people that I follow to see your stuff.
I believe it because I'll follow people and then I'll see something from November today, and I'm like,
yes,
why?
I'm like, hello. I used to be caught up on her shit. Now I'm not.
Yeah,
I
don't get algorithm, like the algorithm and why it shows you certain things when it shows it to you.
The fact that that's people's jobs to just like understand it. I'm like, you guys are amazing because I don't get it.
Speaking of, I got 3 comment violations on TikTok today.
Wait, what?
But hear me out. They're dumb. Like one of them, I got a violation because I commented. I said, "Wow, that girl is wild." Because it was a picture, it was a video of a chick outside in the rain just throwing ass. So I was like, damn, girl, that's wild.
How is that a comment violation?
So I appealed it, and the appeal immediately was restored. Then I got another one where it was, I commented on the girl that did the 10-minute video. I guess she's reporting comments because the thing that I wrote was, girl, shut the fuck up. I was like, really? Because with the moment I started listening to it, I was like, because it popped up on my For You page, and I was like, the fuck is this? And then she started, and I was like,
you're like my dad who's always in Facebook jail. Like he just goes into Facebook jail every 3 days, and I'm like,
Facebook jail for telling my sister stupid. I'm like, my sister posts, I'm like, no, heifer, I'm not doing that, and I get put in Facebook jail for bullying. The other comment was on a video where they were talking about how in one of the states, one of the Congress people is trying to pass a law that makes that basically like it would no longer be incest for you to get with your first cousin. And so I wrote,
wait. Is it?
I love y'all faces.
Like your aunt's,
like like your aunt's child,
uncle, like your direct.
Yes, your first line of cousins. Yes.
But that's
so seeing the video and not doing any research, I just watched the video. I said, so does he just have a cousin that he wants to make out with and feel no remorse? Like what's happening? And that got flagged for inappropriate comments. And I was like, this whole video should be inappropriate then. Well, I'm asking a question because I genuinely want to know.
I just don't understand how people have not learned. Like that's how inbreeding and all the things that come with that happen.
There's a reason why it's against the law. They
used to do that, and then they were like, "Oh wait,
look at the entire English monarchy. Look at the monarchies in general. They all look a little loopy because inbreeding.
Like y'all have sickle cell. I wonder why. We know why.
Yeah,
like
it's just not a good idea."
Brittany, when you
I was gonna say something, I was like, for some reason, when you said you all have sickle cell, I wonder why. I was like, not sickle cell.
That's what it was, wasn't it? Though, like a whole string of the monarchs had like sickle cell.
Yeah.
It's just I forget that because they associate sickle cell mainly with Black people. So saying that just cracks me up because I'm like, oh my god, I think that was the thing, which makes it wilder.
Also, like their eyes are really close together, you noticed?
Yeah, girl. That's why I said they look a little loopy.
Okay, guys. Our next segment is What Are You Reading? So this week we're going to hear from Oshale.
Yes. So I've been reading a lot, which I always am. Right now, I'm in the middle of a couple books, but there is one that I want to talk about just because it's so unhinged.
Oh, God.
It's not, Ice Barbarians unhinged.
Girl, please remember, the last time we went through a really unhinged thing, it was like a blue barbarian story. And then there was one where it was like
Planet Barbarians.
A kidnapper, the kidnapper murderer story one. Like every time you say it's a little unhinged, we end up with crazy stuff like she was messing with a bear. That was you. That was all you. Yes. All of those books were you.
Was it her or was it a comment?
No, that one was her because we were laughing so hard we were crying.
I don't know if I remember that book, but the book that I'm talking about, this is the cover.
Oop, so scared because
and there were two books, And it was one of those things where I got the sample and then the actual book got me, like it roped me in. And I was like, okay, now I have to buy this book, even though I don't want to buy it. But this sample has hooked me. This is the cover.
Ooh, pretty.
Okay.
And it's called, okay, the cover makes no, the title of the book makes no sense. And just, y'all let me know if you think this makes sense. Bribing the Billionaire's Revenge.
Bribing the Billionaire's Revenge.
That doesn't make sense.
That does not make sense.
Bribing the billionaire. Sure.
Yes.
The Billionaire's Revenge. Sure.
Yes.
All of it together? No.
Okay.
Bribing the billionaire into revenge. Makes sense.
No, it's just bribing the billionaire's revenge, which doesn't make sense to me.
Or for revenge? Bribing the billionaire for revenge would have been better.
So this one is called, it's by Tatienne Richard or Ricard Richard. I don't know. Anyway, that's not the point. So the story is unhinged. It's basically like this girl, she's married to this guy. They've been together for 7 years or something, 7 or 8 years. And the book starts with him calling her into his home office and being like, I need you to sign these papers. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, we're getting a divorce. And she's like, huh? And he's like, I had sex with your sister and she's pregnant. And yes. So her husband cheated on her with her sister and had been going on for months. And then her sister gets pregnant. And then he forces her into a divorce kind of so he could marry her sister so that the baby will be born within wedlock so that the baby won't lose out on its trust fund because he comes from a wealthy family. So he's in the family business and the family's in real estate. So she goes to his number one competitor, rival person that he hates and basically says, hey, look, my husband did this to me. I'm completely heartbroken. I'm devastated. He ruined my life. I have all of these files about all of his business information and everything because he, like a dummy, used to use my computer and would never like delete things. And she was like, and so I downloaded everything and I have all this insider information on his company.
Oh, wow.
And I want to give it to you and I want you to destroy him and destroy his life. And then the other guy's like, bet. And so they form a partnership.
What a way to go.
They form a partnership. And then, of course, he starts liking her, but she's recovering from, divorce. And then there's a subplot with the sister. So the sister, apparently their whole lives, and this is her little sister, their whole lives, her sister has always like wanted what she has and gone out of her way to take what she has, like toys and all kinds of stuff. And her sister has a mental illness. It's pretty clear that her sister is not all there, but she's being enabled by the entire family. The mom literally was like, you should come to your sister's wedding to support her. And she's like, her wedding to my ex-husband? And the mom is like, yeah, she, just come to support her. She's your sister.
Unless I'm coming there to whoop her ass.
What? Because I will show up and object the wedding so you can't get done. You'd have to wait a while to get it done again. I would ruin your wedding.
And then you have the sister herself calling the female protagonist, crying, leaving voicemails like, I really need you during this time. I'm pregnant and I need my sister to support me.
Oh, she's unhinged.
And being like, I know that I took your husband, but like, I did you a favor. If he can be taken, like, you don't want him. It was very entertaining. It was like soap opera levels of entertaining. So...
Where did you find this mess? Where did you find this mess, Oshley?
Things get suggested to me. I feel like
the fact that that's your suggestions says so much. It says so much that that's your suggestions.
I feel like my algorithm on Kindle and in general just knows me really, really well. And they'll be like, we think that you'll like this. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this. How did you know? How did you know I was going to love this?
They said, this bitch love mess. Mess.
Mess.
Love mess.
Boof.
I'm dead.
Chaotic. Let's switch it to her.
I thought y'all would find that interesting.
That is amazing.
If you want to read
my job kept opening and closing. So yeah.
If you want to read something that's just straight up pure entertainment, that was a good option.
Say the title again for those of the people in the comments that actually love your weirdo suggestions.
Weirdo suggestions.
The title really irks me, but it's Bribing the Billionaire's Revenge.
Yeah, I can't deal with it.
The title really does not sit right.
It doesn't make sense. It's not grammatically correct. Like it's not.
It's actually giving me a headache to hear.
Bribing the billionaire for revenge would have made me so much better sense. But no. Shame on the person that created that title. Shame.
I haven't read it quite yet, but I do want to plug this author because I'm obsessed with her. Love Belvin has a new book out.
Oh, I love her.
It's the latest in the Connecticut King series, and y'all know if anyone has watched my channel for any amount of time, you know I'm obsessed with
it. Love Belvin.
And it is an age gap situation with the guy being younger, I believe. Not by much, I don't think.
I'm probably gonna do a Love Belvin. I will probably put Love Belvin at the top of my naked list this year because I've never read a Love Belvin book, so
I love that.
Oh, I know. I'm telling you now that you're allowed to pick. I will let you pick the series that I start with for Love Belvin for naked.
Oh, I have another book that's very scandalous that I recommend that I loved. This is another author that I really like a lot. She's probably in my top 10.
Oh yeah, you talk about her a lot.
Pink Pussycat Enterprises.
I love the title so much.
That is amazing.
So
I love it.
Basically about this guy that owns like the black version of Playboy. Like in this world, he owns like the black equivalent of Playboy is what he started, and it's like strip clubs, magazines, like media, like everything, right? And they call the girls like pussycats. They have their own like outfits and everything.
Instead of rabbits, they're cats.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I kind of love this.
There's this girl, she's kind of down on her luck. She's going through a lot in life. She auditions to be a dancer at one of the clubs. And oh my God, it's so good.
As you're talking, I'm looking it up.
I read that book in a day, and there's two of them. I read them in a day because I was
just like, it's a duology situation.
Mm-hmm. It's so good though.
It's Pussycat Doll Enterprises.
Pink Pussycat Enterprises.
Thank you.
By Sion Lee. Sion Lee in general writes some of my favorite like street lit books and just black books in general, like black romance books. She's great. There's this one book she wrote that you would really appreciate, Brittany.
Okay.
Because it's giving rom-com vibes, and there's no trauma of any kind or anything crazy at all. But let me see if I can pull it up. But she wrote this book that's basically about a girl who it's her senior year in college, and just based on her background and how she grew up, and her family's not very supportive. She doesn't have a lot of friends. So all throughout college, she just kind of kept her head down and she didn't make a lot of friends. Well, it's her senior year and she's rooming with these three other girls, right? Mm-hmm. And they're kind of like the popular girls and she's kind of like the odd man out. And she's also like a curvier girl. So these girls kind of like leave her out a lot. So one night, one of the girls comes to her room and it's a suite. So everyone has their own bedroom. One of the popular girls comes to her room, knocks on the door and says, "Hey, I have this dude that's coming over tonight and he's bringing a friend. Could you hang out with the friend?" And she's just like, "Oh my God, seriously? Like, I don't want to do this." And she's just like, "Come on, please." And so she says, yes. So the guy comes over and and then it switches to the guy's perspective. And he's just like, "What does this girl look like? Like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, why you just spring me on some random girl? Like, what the hell?" And he almost didn't get out of the car. And his homeboy's like, "Come on." So
he gets out of the car. Such a cute thing to watch on TV, but please continue.
So he gets out of the car. They go into the dorm. His friend goes off with the other girl to her room to hook up. And they end up hitting it off. Like, they end up like having so much to talk about. Like, and they become like besties. And he's like obsessed with her, like literally obsessed with her. And he's like one of the hottest dudes on campus. He throws these like huge parties. So he's super popular. He's super fine. And he just becomes obsessed with her. And she is obsessed with him too, but they're afraid to take their friendship to the next level because they're such good friends that they don't want to ruin the friendship. And then eventually she starts going out with another guy. And he's like, wait, whoa, what are you doing? And then that's what makes them turn their relationship to a romance.
I am adding this to
It's called
Okay. I'm in a fantasy kick right now, and you are trying to kick me out of that kick. So serious.
Campus Chronicles, and like the way he has her back, y'all. Like when I tell you, this is one of the most perfect stories to me because there's no like big misunderstanding. He's never jerked to her, nothing like that. When people come for her, he has her back like all the way. And he's like, what you're not going to do is fuck with my girl. And what you're not going to do. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, oh, this is beautiful.
And there's no
Amazon. My Kindle.
There's no trauma in their relationship. Like every obstacle that they have is coming from outside of them. Like they're solid. Everything else is coming from like, you know, like family members that don't get it and like stuff like that, which I really like because you don't see that a lot in Black books. Like there's always some type of trauma or the dude is like did something horrible or like
there's
cheated.
Always some type of racism or something thrown in there for them to be the obstacle.
And this is literally just none of that. None. Like
it's just me slowly searching.
Campus Chronicles, also by Sion Lee. I mean, everything by her is amazing, but I've read this book twice already.
Really?
Read it twice already.
Let me make sure I read this before my Kindle Unlimited expires.
Oh, yeah. Facts. Yeah. Kindle Unlimited too. Because I was definitely into mine at the end of this month.
Yep.
So, y'all ended yours?
I'm going.
I don't use Kindle Unlimited enough.
I just don't use it. Like I use it a lot during Naked.
Yeah.
And then like if I'm in a romance mood, yeah. But for the most part, the books I'm reading, I'm getting them from the library.
I know that's
yeah, same. And I don't got money to be paying, so
I'm a hoe for Kindle Unlimited. Like I cannot do without it at all. Like I need it at all times. I'm just saying.
It's funny. I'm just adding these to my Kindle Unlimited, and then tonight when I go sit down in my bed to read, I'm gonna let them download, and we're gonna see which one I read first. I reached the maximum. Which books have I read?
I am definitely I might start that tonight.
Start that first so that we can gush about it because I might read it again.
Okay, so
oh my God, are we buddy reading?
I'm gonna say, are we buddy reading a book, guys?
We should, and then
we never do this. We should do it.
Yes,
we are doing something amazing.
It'd be a good one to buddy read, and I'll be getting y'all's comments like, "No, this did not just happen." Then I'll be like,
The funniest part about like reading these kind of books is like I like to imagine the actor and the actress that I would put in the place to like do the movie, because obviously I want all of these books to be rom-coms because we don't get to be in the rom-com area like as Black people unless it's interracial. So it's like, I want these kind of, like this campus book would be so cute. And it should be called Campus Chronicles as the movie. And it should be one of those ones that pop up on like when I'm having a day where I want to watch Princess Diaries and The Devil Wears Prada, I want to also put on Campus Chronicles. Like it fits in there so well. Just
the girl, Kamaria, the way she was described in the book was giving me Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh my God.
But Megan Thee Stallion before she like lost all the weight because she's a little smaller now. But the original Megan Thee Stallion, that's kind of what it was giving me because they describe her literally in the book as a stallion. Like she's tall, she's really curvy. I was like,
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
You don't have to sell it anymore. It's sold.
No.
I've actually taken
You said friends to lovers, and my ears perked up. So,
I have sent screenshots of the Pussycat Enterprises and this book to my 2 girlfriends that were looking for romance books, and I was like, I'm willing to read these with you.
So good, so good. I mean, anything by Sion Lee, really. She has this one book that I read literally every summer, and it's called For the Streets.
That's right up your freaking alley.
This girl. It's about this girl who's the dance captain of her school. She has a lot of family drama going on. Like her mom is not a very good mom. Her dad is really her stepdad, but he raised her and he ended up getting locked up for dealing. He was like a big time drug dealer. He gets locked up. And the mom is one of those moms that without her husband, she just falls apart. So she ends up raising her little brothers and sisters. She's in college trying to make it. And she needs money really bad. And she ends up like doing these jobs for this one kingpin type dude whose whole family like is really big into distributing and stuff. And so she takes on this job where she basically sets dudes up for them. And she like wears different wigs and does her makeup different ways. And each job pays like 10 grand. So she can't really quit. And so she ends up meeting like the head guy. She got the job through someone else in the organization. She ends up meeting the head guy and he's looking at her sideways like, I don't trust any type of girl that sets dudes up for a living. But he's like kind of intrigued by her, but he doesn't trust her. They get off on the wrong foot and she's just like, you don't fucking know me. And so it kind of starts off with like hate, but not quite. But then he comes to a game and watches her dance because she's a dance captain of her dance squad in college. And then they just kind of hit it off and he can't control her because she's for the streets, but she's not really for the streets. She's just not malleable like other girls. Like she's not falling all over him like he's used to. So I'm telling you, Leon Lee is the truth.
He hated her until he saw her ass twirl. Got it. That's what I heard. It's like hated her, hired her to do a specific job, hated her because she did the job well. Saw her ass twirl, and now all of a sudden, let's make it happen.
Dudes are so contradictory because they'll be like, oh, she's doing a good job, but she's setting dudes up. So, ooh, maybe she's a bad person. But
like, did you not hire me to do that job?
Right.
If I was doing it badly, you wouldn't be happy either.
But not gonna lie, I kind of want to read that.
It's like, be that as it may. Me personally, that did not strike for me because I'm kind of on the girl side. Like, I want to scream at her here. Be better. As a person, he didn't like you.
There's a lot more drama in it though, because it's one of those like he's used to having things a certain way. He doesn't want to fold for her. She's not about to fold for him.
Red flags. All I heard was red flags.
But I love the drama.
I know. That's what I was about to say. I was like, but also because we identified so many red flags in that description, we know that you were like, I ate it up.
Yes, I did.
It's like at this point, sometimes I deem Oshale like the red flags reader.
I love it.
Like she could read like massive red flags and she's just like, oh, this story's getting good.
I have weird boundaries though. Like I don't like student teacher. I don't like I like dark romance, but if it's so dark to the point where I'm uncomfortable because it's a little too real. It's kind of like how everybody was going on and on about that one movie about child trafficking, Sound of Freedom or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, absolutely not, because that stuff is actually happening and it's just too real for me. It's no longer just a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of how I'm with certain books.
I can't judge Oshale because I'm not that far off of her. So if I actually read more books, I'd be at her level. So.
It's not that you don't read books. Right now, you are just in a different entertainment era right now.
There you go.
That's true, because I watch too many Thai dramas.
Right. Like right now, your mood is Thai dramas.
And they're unhinged. Like very,
I watch those kind of things when I just want life to when I want to be reminded that life could be worse.
I do have a good show recommendation.
Okay.
It's like a period piece.
I love period pieces.
It's called Belgrave.
Never heard of it.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And it's basically starts off the night before the Waterloo battle. And, like the Battle of Waterloo.
Yeah.
And it's in Brussels. And it's this guy he's not upper echelon. He's kind of like a merchant. Mm-hmm. But he's the merchant for the rich people. So he gets invited to a lot of their events. And he has a wife and he has a son and he has a daughter. Wow. And so they go to this ball. And the daughter is in love with a duke, which is like a no-no because she's like too low to marry him.
Oh, yeah.
They fall in love. And the ball is literally the night before the Battle of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo is the next day. A bunch of them die, the soldiers. the Duke being one of them.
Oh.
And then she's completely devastated. And then she admits to her parents that she's pregnant with the Duke's baby.
Oh.
And that they got married before he went off to battle. But then she finds out that it wasn't a real marriage. He just like paid one of his friends to pretend to be a like person to marry them.
Man.
Yeah. So, it gets worse.
Even back in those days, men ain't shit.
It gets worse. So her family goes like far away for her to have the baby, and they're just gonna give the baby away. But then she dies in childbirth. And then it fast forwards 25 years later, and that's where it really starts.
Oh, okay. So the show's about the kid.
So the show's about the child.
Well, what happens is the family who, her family, after she dies, her family goes to this like neighborhood in London called Belgrave, where, remember the Duke who died? His parents are like so distraught still because he died super young. So he has no kids, so they think. And the mom of the girl who passed away in childbirth just can't keep it to herself anymore because she runs into the Duke's mom at a party, and they're both commiserating over the fact that both of their kids died. And she's just like, I can't keep the secret. So she asks to see her in private, and she's just like, I just want you to know that your son impregnated my daughter, and there is a child out there, and we don't know how he is because we gave him away to like a nice family. And I just wanted you to know that you have a grandson. So the Duke's mom is so livid,
I imagine,
that she goes and finds the grandson. She finds him, and he's like a businessman. Like, he was raised by like this pastor and his wife, but his parents are dead now, and he's doing well for himself, and he's young and he's handsome. She finds him, and she's just like, hi, I'm going to sponsor you. And he's like, why? You're like a duchess, and I'm just a regular merchant. And she's just like, because I believe in you. This whole time she's his grandma. Oh yeah, and the plot thickens because the Duke himself, who's the guy whose son died, the Duke, so the Duchess's husband, he's sad obviously because his son died in battle, but also because after he dies, his title is going to go to his brother, who is a huge gambler, and his brother's son. And the brother's son is an asshole who's having an affair. Okay, that's a whole nother side plot. But anyway, so it's so good, y'all. So good.
I love period dramas.
Me too. They're so messy.
They are so messy.
Belgrave. It's called Belgrave, and it is amazing. And it's only 8 episodes. So it's not like you have to spend your whole life watching it, you know?
Ooh,
That's how I started watching Downton Abbey, and I've been down the period drama hole ever since. I watched Call the Midwife, and it has like 12 seasons.
Oh my God.
I watch Midsummer Murder, so
I like that one again. Yeah, period dramas.
So good.
It's just, they're different. They hit different.
Well, Midsummer isn't a period drama, but it's British.
Yeah, it's adjacent.
That's so funny.
It's BBC. That's what I like to say.
Every time someone says BBC, I think of something else. But this is a great segue to talk about Brittany's upcoming birthday.
Is that a good segue?
Yeah.
Is that a good segue?
Is what we aspire to.
No, it's not. We're not. I'm not what you should.
Your life is definitely an inspiration.
My life is a lie.
That got so dark.
It's so
honestly, that's how I've been feeling. It's like normally Brittany-wary is like a whole celebration. And the saddest part is I pre-planned this month of celebrations. But this is the first week where nothing bad has happened to me. Lord, please. Like, I'm just saying this as a blessing. I don't need no more. Thank you. Like, I just need to say that out loud. Like, please no. However, so I guess y'all know, but the podcast doesn't. So I created a month of activities to do in honor of my birthday because I wanted to spend my 35th birthday in Colorado, but the money that I was going to spend in Colorado was spent on some very expensive emergency flights due to some family emergencies. So instead of like rerouting my budget and still going on that trip, I decided to cancel it and just spend my month here in Houston doing random things. So like the first weekend was like Putt Shack and drinks with friends because I haven't gone mini golfing in forever. I was also supposed to get my nose pierced that weekend because it's supposed to be like nose piercing and then go hang out with the people. The next weekend was candle making. It was this
over that. What happened to the nose piercing?
Well, remember that week I was sick and my lip was swollen all the way to my nose. So had to cancel all that because my friends were like, you can just wear a mask. No. Like, no. Last weekend was candle making at this place. It's called Be Elevated Candles. It's in the city center. Mm-hmm. It was lit. My candle scent is the Azulin Rose because obviously we have to do a nerd thing. It is a mix of smoked sage and dark rose.
That's pretty.
It smells wonderful and it's so me. I'm kind of low key sad though because I went by myself. So I sent this out to all my friends. I'm like, if you want to hang out with me for one of these events, let me know. I included like the menu, prices, links, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And for the candle thing, I was like, you have to book your own slot. Like I'll be at the 2 p.m. slot. You got to book the other slots, but nobody was available. Aww. And so I was like, actually, this is okay because I think it's like 14 slots per hour. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, maybe I'll meet some new people. Like this was me like trying to be like extroverted because we know that I don't like people. And I get there and it's a bridal party of AKAs.
Oh.
And if anybody knows that, I'm not going to say all AKAs because I've actually met some really nice, like inviting AKAs, but like a good majority of them act like they're too good to socialize outside of their groups. So that was a pretty lonely experience. Like the person that like led it, she and I got along very well because she was also an engineer. And so like we were both talking about it from like an engineering standpoint. I was like, just based on like the whole scent thing, like I want to get a contrasting scent. I don't want to get a matching one. I want to stay like woodsy, but I know floral. Like we're like talking like full chemistry stuff. But yeah, it was pretty lonely. Then I took myself to go get burgers at I think it's like Hop Daddy Burgers or something, which is like right next to it. Cause you have to wait 2 hours after you make the candle because it needs to sit.
Okay.
I was like, I'll go take myself to lunch. So I'm sitting there eating by myself. It's fine. The bartender comes over with this random martini. And I was like, oh shit, martini. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry. This is the wrong table. And like takes the drink back. And I was like, I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out. I was like,
oh Jesus!
I don't want to laugh, but my God.
Honestly, the only thing I could do when I left was laugh because I was like, damn.
She should have just dropped it off and been like, here you go, and then just got me another one.
Point, she had to remake it anyway.
Yeah,
because I had already touched it. So
yeah,
it. But it was just one of those things where I was just like, okay. So this weekend is supposed to be game night at my house.
Ooh. That'll be fun.
I'm making a hot chocolate bar.
Ooh.
Obviously, Troy, if you want to come, just let me know.
Yeah. No, but okay.
Don't.
Wait, say it again. I don't know what she said. It's unfortunately nephew weekend, so I can't.
Girl, it's okay. I'm not worried.
It's okay.
I have games lined up, and it's going to be fun. Then the next weekend, it's supposed to be Sunday brunch because my birthday is on a Monday. So like. The original plan was I was going to do brunch on Sunday, and then on Monday night I was going to go to this place down here called Cleo's Lounge, which I've never been. I've driven by it many, many times, and I've just never been. So I even got an outfit. Okay, I ordered an outfit, this really cute dress. It was supposed to be purple. It arrived red. It's a whole situation. They no longer have the purple one in my size.
Then why didn't they just tell you that?
I think they mistakenly put the red one in my package, I guess. So the red doesn't look bad on me. It's just the fact that like
that's not what you wanted.
Like it's just not the vibe that I wanted. And then also I called to make a reservation because you can't make a reservation more than like 2 weeks in advance or something. So I called to make a reservation for my birthday, and they're not open on Mondays.
Lord.
So
this year has been a struggle.
It's only 17 days in, right? Like, I was like, okay, God. I was like, I don't like this birthday.
Right? Like, what are you trying to tell me?
Like, yeah, because I'm like, I already feel really shitty about turning 35. And so I tried to combat this feeling by making all these plans.
Okay, we're going to have a therapy session. What is so bad about 35?
First of all, we already know that a lot of my feelings towards turning 35 is a worldly construct put on my shoulders. And not even like 35 is not old.
It's not.
But I also spent a good portion of my Christmas break being told that, you know, it's crazy that I don't want kids. And all these other things. So it's just too much combined with the fact that I'm like, damn, when I was in my 20s, I used to say things like, there's no way I won't be married by 35. Like, there's no way. 35 by 30. If it's that 35, it's just not going to happen because, like, that's so old. Because that's really how I thought at, 20-something, 21, 22. I even made a bet with my best friend who is super gay. He and I had made a pact that if I wasn't married by 35, he and I would get married and he would use my eggs to have his children.
He is now married.
Girl, not only is he about to get married, but he's getting married on my birthday.
I'm sorry. I was really trying. I was really trying.
You can't make this shit up.
I'm just living. I
will say that I feel like there's this weird thing where when you're in your 20s, you feel so young and invincible.
Yeah.
When really to be in your 20s and say that 35 is old is kind of unhinged. And it just shows how conditioned we are by society.
20s is unhinged, so it checks.
But it just shows how brainwashed and programmed we are by society as women that we ourselves feel like we have expired past a certain point when we're still very young.
Perfect description for it. I feel like I'm about to expire. That is like the perfect line for it. Also, we should title this podcast The Expiration Date.
Right.
God.
You know what's interesting though? Because I went through the same thing when I turned 35. And when I turned 35 was actually kind of dark time because that was during the era of Kevin Samuels. And
God, I couldn't imagine. I'm struggling right now and all we have is his ghost.
Exactly. So it was like having that echo chamber of like, oh, you know, who's going to want you? You're a leftover woman or this and that. And, you know, all the stuff that he was saying. So you have that echo chamber, which is very loud because negativity is always super loud. But then once I actually turned 35, it's weird. It's like you turn this corner because the rest of your life opens up and you just realize that your life isn't over and your life hasn't ended. You're still young. You're still healthy. Hopefully, you know, for people who have their health, that's everything. And then you also switch, at least I did, from like a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Because mine used to be like, oh my gosh, like if you're not married, you know, by this point, then you're never going to get married. Kind of like you said, like, what are the chances? And, you know, obviously you have Kevin Samuels' ghost now, but him back in the day being like, the statistics show if you're not married by this age as a Black woman, you won't be. And, you know, so many Black women are unmarried and da da da. But I switched to an abundance mindset because I was just like, if you want love, it will find you, you know, and you have to, it will. And it doesn't matter if it finds you at 35 or 36 or 43 or 52. Like, love is love.
Right.
And you have to love yourself and you have to love your life. And so it's like, stop waiting for your life to begin when you find a partner. Build a life that you want.
Oh my God.
Build a life that you
whole mood this month.
And now there's this whole movement going on of like decentering men.
Yes, which thank God for, honestly.
Well, it's just like that place where we as women realize that everything you've done your whole life has been for the attention or the approval of a man, even things that you may not realize you were doing, but it's like the way that you were thinking about it centers men and doesn't center yourself, which is insane to think that you're living your life not centering yourself and your desires, or that you're living your life in this sort of weird waiting room purgatory because you're just waiting to meet someone before you do this, waiting to meet someone before you go here, waiting to meet someone. Like, why? Life is so short. Like, just build the life that you want and switch your mindset to one of abundance, and love will come when it does. But you shouldn't be miserable until that time. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I'm obviously having this conversation. I have my 3 college girlfriends. 2 of them turned 35, and one turned 35 in November, one turned 35 in December. One of them is married, one of them is in a relationship, and then now I'm the first single one turning 35. And we were having a conversation, and I was like, listen, if I had the mindset that I have now, where I have started decentering men and decentering the idea that like I needed to live a certain way to be attractive to men, if I had this mindset in my 20s, I would have been the biggest thought pocket on my college campus.
Like, you could have been living your best life for yourself.
Like, why was I not getting my back blown out between finals? Like, why was I not enjoying my life? It's like, I have a list on my phone, and I will say this only because the title of the list has changed. The title of the list used to be date night ideas. This list is long, y'all. I have been collecting this list. Houston is huge. There are so many different places and things to do in Houston. I have been in Houston for 11 years. There is a list of things that I want to do in Houston that I had not done yet because I said I was going to wait for a date night to do them. And so that is why when I made the list of things I wanted to do for this month, I started off at the top of the list. Putt-putt golf, ice cream, making candles. Well, the game night, that's just me because I love game nights. It means I can wear pajamas and like still hang out with people. But like Cleo's Lounge, that was on the list of like date night ideas. And it's like, I'm going to do everything on this list before 2024 ends.
Good for you.
Because I can't believe this list is here. Also on the list, it was things like, due to previous relationships where I thought that I had to listen to my partner's specifics about things he liked and things he didn't like. And by the way, obviously this was not a healthy relationship. This was a mentally abusive relationship. So take this with the grain of salt that it is. I obviously had to do a lot of deprogramming, but I found a note in my phone from around the time that I was dating him, because the notes on your phone transfer to every phone. Didn't think about it, but it does. I found a note and it literally says in the note, like, I will dye my hair purple and I will get a nose ring. And whether he likes it or not, I think it's something like that is what it said. And I was like,
that's so sad.
Did I really like not? And then I was like, well, no, because the reason that I must not have gotten it done is because remember my previous job was so bad, but I couldn't get my hair colored and I couldn't get a nose piercing because I was going offshore. But it was like, at the end of that, I stopped going offshore. I should have gotten my nose. Why have I not gotten my nose pierced? What the hell? Like, So it's a long list. It's got over 100 things on that list. I haven't counted all of it, but like I can do this. And it still goes. And so I was like, okay, we're going to start this year off in further encouragement of decentering men, just conquering this list. Yes. However, it feels like I am getting smacked upside the fucking head as I'm trying to accomplish this list.
I know.
So it's like,
But you're off to a great start. And honestly, you're right. Like if we had this type of awakening in our 20s, it would have been a whole different ball game. Like for me, I just feel like I would have just had more confidence.
Oh my God.
And I would have just cared more about myself and my wants versus trying to look a certain way or trying to set up my life in a certain way to be the most convenient for a man to
oh my gosh,
come along. And the older I get, the more I just am happy on my own and at peace, especially because I have seen some people that I'm close with and what their relationships look like, and not envying them at all. And and realizing that I have so much peace and joy in my life, and there are people I know who are in relationships that are miserable. They're in relationships that are draining them. They're in relationships that are making them sick. There are relationships that are making them stressed, that are making them overworked, overtired, that are draining them.
yeah,
And I'm really starting to understand when people say like a relationship, a romantic partnership with somebody is just that, a partnership. And they should make your life better. They should come in and make your life better.
right.
They shouldn't make your life worse.
That.
Right. And they shouldn't be a burden on you. They should be an addition to your life, not your whole life. But just like, oh, I like this. This makes me happy. And this elevates me. Like, I was good before, but this is just like the extra cherry on top that makes things really nice. And that's, the older I get, the more I realize that that's what I'm actually looking for. I don't want to fold a man's clothes for the rest of my life. And
listen, not only, it's like
every once in a while, sure, but I don't even like folding my own clothes.
That's my thing. I was like, the person that's mine, we're hiring somebody to fold clothes once a month. We're not putting away, like, there are services for that. Like, we're hiring somebody. We're also hiring somebody to clean. Like, because, one of the fun things that I got to have discussions about was my mom and my aunt are military wives. They've moved almost as old as I am. They've moved at least 25, 26 times, like, in my lifetime. That's and so because my aunt has her, what I think is going to be forever her home, and then my parents just moved into their home. And so my aunt and my uncle flew up there for the week that they moved in. And like, my aunt started helping my mom decorate, because my mom said she's tired of decorating. She's like out of inspiration, all that stuff. And so I told my mom, I was like, what's something that you look forward to in the house that you're like since you no longer have that excitement for decorating? And she was like, a cleaning service. She was like, because I know your daddy's not going to do it. And I was like, sometimes I think about the way that we were brought up to, like, if you act a certain way, if you're the good girl, like, you'll have your husband and, like, you'll have your life, and it's supposed to be like this good life. And then I remember the fact that my mom sacrificed her dreams for 25 years so that my dad could pursue his military career. And by doing that, it put all of her wants and needs as her own person on hold. And while she loves being a mother, she said she loves everything about it. She said we get on her nerves, but watching us thrive is one of her, like, favorite things about being a mom. Great, but as a single woman now, and now when I talk to my mom, she's always been like, follow your dreams. Do what you want to do. Like, live your life. A guy will come when a guy comes. But do what you want to do. Leave the country with your friends. Like, go do this, that, and the third. And whereas my grandma will be like, so, because I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm planning a trip to Thailand. I was like, I don't have it booked yet because I'm not doing it through a travel company. I was like, I've been doing all the research on my own, and like, I have all the places that I want to go, but I'm just waiting for the plane tickets to drop to a price because I've decided that I'm flying no less than business class to Thailand because that is a long ass flight. I want to lay flat on the airplane. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just like, January is it's not a no budget month. It's just that I do what the hell I want to for the whole month of January. And then at the end of January, I'm actually moving to my cash envelopes to go back to super saving. That's how I saved for this house, is cash envelopes. And so I was like, yeah, it's like with my cash envelope situation, like I'm still building up my emergency account, but like there's going to be a good portion of it devoted to me saving for this flight. The flight's going to be like $8,000 or some absolutely insane number. And so my grandma's like, oh, well, who are you going with? And I was like, obviously my ride or dies. Like,
yeah,
like they're more than willing to go with me to Thailand this year just because I want to go to Thailand to touch elephants. Neither
Right.
of them want to go to Thailand, but they're going because I want to go to Thailand. Why? Because my girlfriends treat me better than any man I've ever been with, and probably will always end up like that. Like,
I think that there's a reason why before women were seen as human beings and given rights that we had to fight for. But anyway, I think there's a reason why men married off their daughters at 14, 15, 16, and then later on at early 20s. And even as we moved into the 19th and 20th centuries and women were allowed to go to college, they were like, go get your MRS degree. Like, there is a reason why men prey on younger women before their frontal lobes have even fused. There is a reason why patriarchy encourages women to marry when they're young and pop out all these kids, because as a woman, you actually don't self-actualize until later because of the way that we are programmed in the society. So you spend your whole youth being programmed, then you spend your adolescence walking out that programming, then you spend your young adulthood confused because the programming goes against your actual like will to be your own person. The two clash. And then as you finally like come fully into your own, usually after 25 when your frontal lobe is fused, and you get into your 30s when is really the era of you like not caring what society thinks and what people think and coming into your own and wanting to do what you want. If you're not married by that point, because for women, what marriage ends up doing, like you said, for your mom, women end up taking a back seat to their husbands a lot. And especially if you have children, the level of self-sacrifice required, you can't be your own person really. So if you make it to your 30s single and without a child, there's something that happens mentally where it's almost like these scales fall from your eyes and you're like, this is a scam. This whole
the whole thing is a freaking scam.
You're like, and then you look at your mom, like my mom got married at 20. So a lot of the conversations
my mom got married at 20.
A lot of the conversations that we have, my mom agrees with me because she's older now and she's just like so happy that I didn't have to experience what she experienced because she married at 20, popped out kids, and took a back seat to us.
Yes.
For years to come, for 18 plus years to come. And even took us backseat to my dad because he wanted to come to America and he wanted to do this and he wanted to do that. Nowhere was it, what do you want?
Yeah. And it's just one of those sacrifices. Like my mom, because I even asked her, I'm like, do you regret it? And she was like, when she was around my age, she had basically, I think my mom was depressed, but obviously in the Black community, we didn't see therapists until very recently. So we'll never know what that true feeling was for her. But yeah, she admitted at one point that she regretted it, which is why she's always been on our behinds. Like, don't go out there making babies. Go live your life.
There's a reason why so many people's mothers and grandmothers push. And by I mean so many people, I mean so many women. So many women's mothers and grandmothers are like, be independent, have your own, get a job, pursue your career, do what you want to do, travel, make friends. Do not worry about finding somebody. Like, don't focus on that.
It'll happen when it happens.
They're like, I was told to focus on that.
Yeah, that was my other thing. I was like, did y'all forget that, like, well, not my mom. She's pretty much been pretty consistent with hers. But, like, society as a whole, like, my grandma to this day, like, makes comments like, one day you're going to tell me you're going on a vacation with your man. And I'm like, well, when you find him, let him know he got to pay for that ticket. It's just so many moments where I'm like, whew, the deprogramming is intense, but that did not stop me from feeling shitty for my 35th birthday.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't stop it at all.
It'll be like, I've gotten so many, you're 35? I'm like, can we not say that like it's such a
There's certain
role? thing.
that is just like terrifying. I feel like it's like 25 is a huge, like, oh my God, my 20s are halfway over. Then I feel like weirdly for me, 27 was very jarring for me. 27 was
Mine
like
was 29.
30 soon.
I think
Mine was
it's going to be 29 because I turned 29 this year. 28 didn't bother me. 27 didn't bother me. 29 is interesting.
It's your last year of the third. Like mine was like, holy crap, I'm going to be 30. Like I'm no longer going to be in my 20s. Like what is happening?
You know what really like had me jarred was my childhood best friend maybe a month ago. She was like, you know what I thought about? I was like, what? A little backstory. We grew up in these apartments that were like college apartments. Like they weren't specifically for the college, but a lot of college students were living there. Mm-hmm. So we were always around, you know, college kids going back and forth, right? And she was like, you remember all those college kids we can pretty much grew up knowing who were like our big brothers and sisters and stuff like that? I said, yeah, what about them? She was like, do you realize we're older than them now than they were back then? I was so like, oh my Jesus. You were so right. And we thought they were so grown and all this other stuff. They were like 22. And now I'm 28, about to be 29.
The way the perception changes as you get older is crazy. Oh. But I think that there's such a, like, I feel like 28 to 35 has been such, like, I'm calling it a second puberty. Like, I know there's no name for it, but there's like a second puberty that happens in that time frame. I mean, skin change, period changed, mindset change, like everything changed so much from 28 to like 33. And then when you're finally grasping onto that and feeling like you have some type of control, now you're turning 34 and 35. And it's like, oh
there is such a freedom after 35, though. You just stop caring. Like
now that I've heard from a lot of women.
It's so freeing to be around the younger generation because these girls are so concerned about things, and I just shake my head and I'm like, I don't care about that anymore. Don't care about that.
My sister sent me that TikTok audio of Kylie Jenner talking about her and Kendall. And she was like, I'm 26 or 25, something like that. She was like, you're 30. And Kendall's like, I'm not 30. She's like, well, you're like 27. That's the same thing. And my sister sent me that. And I was just like, I'm 28 and I'll be 29 this year. She was just like, I was just like, how old did you think I was? She was just like, I did not realize you were hitting 30. That she's like, how are you? I was like, how are you?
You're distraught.
I was like, Chrissy,
you're decrepit.
We're only 5 years apart. And she was just like, don't say that.
She said you're decrepit.
Yeah, pretty much.
She was like, oh my God, you're dying. It's basically how she was talking to you. How are you? Is wild.
Jax.
I have no words.
Okay, guys. So wrapping up this podcast, just want to remind you that our book of the quarter is Miss Chloe, a memoir of a literary friendship with Toni Morrison by A.J. Verdell. We will be reading it from January to April, and in April we will have our book discussion.
Also, don't forget that February is Black History Month, and it's also our Black Book Summit.
We get an extra day this year, leap year.
It's a leap year Black History Month. So we are group reading We Are the Dying Gods by C.M. Lockhart. That is the official decision. Graphics will be on Instagram and on our community page soon. There will also be a read-along attached on Storygraph, and the forums will be broken up by the chapters that we're going to read for the week. And we will also have a schedule for when we're going to go live for February to talk about the chapters and reading and all that jazz. So all of that information will be coming very soon. Just give your girl a break right now. Clearly I'm going through some things, and then we'll be back, and it's going to be as if nothing happened. Once my birthday hits, it's going to be washed over. I already know it. All right, guys, we're going to end this podcast now because clearly we're hitting that point. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at our next podcast.
Like this video, leave a comment.
Yes. Bye-bye.